Even the idea of being reincarnated versus heaven and hell is going to really change how you kind of view the ethics in your society. How did religion influence ethics? I mean, much like the way society and ethics are the same, religion and ethics are also really similar. I mean, a lot of societies, there's a whole group of societies, and in fact, in my course, I break them down. There's honor societies, which is like your traditional, like, Achilles sort of warrior state that, think way back in the day, not so common now. Then you have your religious societies, and what's right is what God thinks is right, and that was a huge component of the majority of societies around the world at some point were religious societies. So this idea that religion is somehow different from ethics or different from society, they are more connected than you'd think, because if you look at medieval Europe, like, religion was the state and also was the ethic, and also was like society in a lot of ways, was structured around the intensity of the religious experience. So it's really hard to untangle those things together. And certainly our modern laws and notions, when we get to the last type of society, which is called a liberty society, which is what probably most of you watching would recognize, into what we would call, the Western world, sort of that democracy, capitalism-y, whatever thing we have going on right now. That's sort of what I call a liberty society, where what's most important is liberty for the individual, sort of the individual's ability to determine their own destiny and freedom, and live a good and just life for the most part. So that sort of society, it didn't really exist way back, but when there were honor societies and religious societies. So clearly it's going to be influenced and shaped by those core principles. In the West, which is not really a thing, but there's this idea of Judeo-Christian values. So the cultures and history and foundational ethical ideas of Judaism, which covers vast swaths of Central Asia, obviously Europe, parts of Africa, and then into Christianity. Again, that, Russia, there was the schisms and all that stuff, but Europe and Russia, and again, the Middle East, parts of Asia, and then Islam, which is also in that, it's not Judeo-Christian, but it is in that tradition in many, many ways, versus, for example, Hinduism, right? That's a very different ethical framework. I mean, just even the idea of, being reincarnated versus heaven and hell is going to really change how you kind of view the ethics in your society. So, okay, with all that said, a lot of our societies that we have, that probably you're watching, is strongly influenced by this very long history, Judeo-Christian tradition, or Islamic tradition, that kind of was around for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. So clearly the ethics of what, your personal ethic is going to be very strongly influenced by those big thoughts and ideas. It definitely changes over time, but religion and ethics oftentimes intermingle, because usually we're talking about the deep foundational cores of what it means to be human, and that's where those ideas play. Absolutely.